on an interview.
Yeah. So
Whatever it takes.
we'll see how long it lasts.
Got the patient advocate here with Martellis Fuller. I'm David Hooper, and we're here with round 2, breaking the rules of racism.
That's right. Continue the conversation.
We appreciate you guys. We like hearing comments, anything you guys want us to talk about or you want us to cover, let us know. We'll hit it up.
Sometimes it seems like I'm having a conversation with an audience who just don't want to seem to understand, or they act like some of the things that I'm explaining to them, oh, I've never experienced it, or I've never seen that. And it's like, okay, that's fine. Then at that point, I'm about ready to shut down because I'm probably getting heated,
You can't experience it. A white person can't experience it unless you live close enough and are intertwined close enough with the Black community to see it.
Correct.
Or to feel it firsthand through them by seeing what it does to them. Like, going back to high school, like seeing how those, how much it riled everybody up on the team by how, obviously for how, the terms they were making, derogatory terms they were making throughout the game, it was different for me to see that because it didn't really exist in our high school. I mean, everybody kind of looked at each other pretty much.
Man, we were cool, man. We were family. Yeah. We stood up for each other all the time.
And then seeing that at other schools, and how, just for no reason, it's just like, damn, it really is, out there, and prevalent. And it's, when you're growing up in the country, all you know is everybody that's around you and you think everybody's cool. And then you get outside of that and you're like, wow, everybody's not cool, like with each other. It changes so quick from one little city to another city in the same region. It can be, close knit to segregated, almost with a line. And that still exists in a lot of small towns to this day.
Still exists.
Because that's another story. People want to say that it's the racism isn't there from Black to white. Like, it's not the same.
It's there.
Words. And that's the only time I would say only ever really been scared in my life was in a moment that had to do with that type of direct racism towards me in one of these small towns in Florida where, I had a buddy that I knew from Florida State, not real tight, but tight enough. And I was working up there. It's in northwest Florida on the Panhandle, and small town where there literally is the railroad tracks. You got the railroad tracks. You got the white people on one side of the railroad tracks, literally Black people on the other side of the tracks. Mm-hmm. For me to see that, I was just like, wow, it's crazy. But there was a little small downtown on, one side of town. There was a little small downtown on the other side of town. And the white people didn't really go over there. And it's just one of those things where everybody kind of knew that. I knew that, and I'm not even that familiar with that city. But when I was working there, he wanted to go. We were going to go out that night, whatever, go chill out down a different city. We were going out, but he wanted to stop by there to see one of his friends or something before we left to go. And I was like, dude, I don't really want to go down there. Like, I know that's not, not where I should be. Like, I'm not stupid. And he's like, no, he's like, if you're with me, nobody's going to mess with you. You're fine as long as you're with me. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I didn't feel right. I didn't like it. I didn't feel like I, knew him well enough to really trust that. But I was like, okay, like if you say so, I thought maybe I was overthinking it, and I was, thinking too much into it, thinking it was going to be worse than it was. I was like, well, and that's my, from where we grew up, thinking, okay, maybe everybody's, going to be cool about it. Mm-hmm. No. So, so I go down there, and literally as soon as I get out of the car and I'm walking with him down the street, every person I pass is just mean mugging the shit out of me and, basically telling me to get the, F out of there. Like, what am I doing there? When we went inside this one place, I was even threatened, like, to the point of, if you don't get out of here, I'm going to kill you. type of conversation. Not a conversation, but a threat, obviously. And I was just at that point, and he didn't make any comments really. Might have looked at some of the guys, but didn't say anything. So I was getting more mad at him for telling me, it wouldn't happen, and it was happening. So that to me was the only time I felt that my life was literally threatened and in danger because of the color of my skin.
So did your buddy try to stick up for you at all?
He said something to one guy, but that was one of about probably 8 guys that said something to me. So that friendship ended very soon after that, and we almost got into a fight after that episode. After we left there, that was a very heated moment after we got out of there. And yeah, so I didn't deal with him anymore after that. So, but some people have said, well, you shouldn't have put yourself in that situation. Like, you didn't belong there. I'm like, well, why? I get that, and I even knew that. But the trust or the ignorance on my part, I don't know what it was, but, my faith in humanity, I guess, like I put myself out there, and that was what happened. So I don't know what are your feelings on that?
So for me personally, I don't care where it is, man. I try to go with my gut instinct, try to trust my gut. If I get a eerie vibe, I'm not going. First of all, I'm not scared of anybody or any situation, but I know not to put myself in certain situations. If I feel like, oh no, I might not, regardless of what whoever's saying who's with me, I shouldn't go here, do that. I'm probably not gonna do it. That's me personally.
Yeah.
Honestly, if this is probably wrong with me, but this is my stories and my experiences. Like if there's some place or some building, some restaurant, that's, if I walk in and like I said, I don't really see anybody else that looks like me, I'm probably gonna walk out. I've had similar situations a few years back. I walked in the restaurant. They're known for their barbecue. They had on the sign at the restaurant, try this barbecue, and we were gonna try it because we were there. So I pull in and we tried this. Me, other family members in the car, and they're like, "Well, go in and get the food, order the food." And I was like, "Okay, cool, no problem." And I noticed the guy to the right of me. He was in his pickup truck, just kept staring at us in the car. And after a minute or two, I'm looking back at the dude like, "Man, what you staring at? What you looking at?" And so he looked off whenever I looked out. Now, I should have picked up from him looking at me like that I shouldn't go in this restaurant. So I walk in the restaurant, and you know how when the music stopped and like the record scratched, like, man, everybody in the restaurant turned and looked at me like, you don't know where you are. You shouldn't be here. This is about, I want to say 3 or 4 years ago.
Really?
3 or 4 years ago. So I walk in, and so they look at me, and I look back like, what are you guys looking at? And so I ended up like, man, this might not be the place for me. So we grabbed the food, and walked out. I got back to the car, and I'm like, guys, I don't know if we should eat this food or not, because everyone in the restaurant was staring at me, man. I don't feel too good about it.
Nobody actually
so
said.
No. That's the thing with me. 9 times out of 10, or a lot of times, when people see me, they don't really say anything. They can look, and I get the look sometimes, but they don't really say or act upon it.
You're a little bit bigger than I am, so.
Well, and that's best.
Might play a little part in it.
That's best for them. That's best for all parties involved. But it's just different, Hoop. And I should have trusted my gut. I should have trusted the gentleman that was staring me down. And
you knew at that moment, and I knew even beforehand that I shouldn't have done it,
Correct.
but I did it anyway.
Correct. That's an experience of 3 or 4 years ago, man, and I should have trusted my gut.
The gut is normally right. Usually nothing good ever happens when you go against the gut.
That's true. It's true.